nice Saturday together here. We've got 2 hours of our show called Mass Appeal, where you call in, let me know your question or personal problem, and I offer you some free, friendly advice from a Catholic perspective. The number to get on today's show is 877-573-7825. 877-5-PEP-TALK is the number to get on today's show. Those of you who are regular listeners know that the beginning segment, I usually chat about a particular topic. Again, today we'll talk about some wonderful things that Mother Angelica taught us. And then I'm waiting for your calls, and then you line up on the call line. As you dial in, you get to talk to our call screener. Just give Joe a little word on your first name, what station you're listening on, and a couple words about the topic of your problem. He's not going to solve it right there on the phone. He'll put you on hold, and then you sit and listen, and then you wait, not listening to the radio, listening on the phone, because there's a little delay there. And then when I call your name, it means you're on the air. So that's kind of how today's show works. So if you'd like some free, friendly advice from a Catholic perspective, call us, because you make today's show happen. The number to get on today's show is 877-573-7825. In a couple of minutes, I'll tell you how to help me out and get on a pre-recorded show that we're going to be doing next week after this show. So I'll chat about that in a moment. But first, I wanted to mention all the emails you sent me this week. I haven't gotten a response that big in quite some time. Usually I get, a handful or a dozen emails. But last week when I read that the comparison between how God treats you and how Satan treats you, I got many through the radio station, through Mass Appeal at AveMariaRadio.net, through my own personal website at TextRespect.com. I got people on my Facebook fan page saying, where is that? Can I have a copy of it? So I posted it for you on both places, my personal Facebook fan page at Colleen Mass, where I have my family stuff and some work things, but then I posted it on my Facebook fan page where I have all the radio follow-up stuff. So when you say, what's the name of this book, and you were driving down the street and you couldn't write it down, you go to Facebook, Colleen Kelly Mass, and that's my Facebook fan page for the radio information, for the speaking information. And so I posted that there, and because it was so popular, maybe I should just read it again for those of you that weren't listening last week going, what was everybody so interested in? Because it's short, but it just helps us in all our discernment. So I've been praying for all of you all week, knowing that everybody's looking for some guidelines for discernment. Many people have spiritual directors. Many work with the saints as they do spiritual guidance through different books. But this gives us just a basic column, a basic set of lists to go, is this who's talking to me here, God or Satan? So this is what I read last week. I'm going to just repeat it again shortly today because I had such a huge response from all of you listeners. And it said, God stills you, it reassures you, leads you, enlightens you, forgives you, calms you, encourages you, and comforts you. Satan rushes you, frightens you, pushes you, confuses you, condemns you, stresses you, discourages you, and worries you. And if you read it column by column, it says, God stills you, Satan rushes you. God reassures you, Satan frightens you. God leads you, Satan pushes you. God enlightens you, Satan confuses you. God forgives you, Satan condemns you. God calms you, Satan stresses you. God encourages you, Satan discourages you. God comforts you, Satan worries you. Now, that's what you were sending me a gazillion emails about this week. You wanted that posted. So it is posted now on my Facebook fan page. Go to Facebook, Colleen Kelly Mass, and it's on there. It's 3 entries down. I entered it right after last week's show, so it's April 18th, or maybe it was Monday that I posted it. Anyway, I posted sometime after last Saturday's show when I started getting all your emails saying, can I have a copy copy of that. And then for those of you that are listening right now that weren't listening last week, you can find it. It's there. And may it help you as you try to discern, where is this message coming from? I'm feeling so discouraged and condemned. Well, who's that message from? God is a great encourager and the being that is mercy and love. So you go to my Facebook fan page and read or post or share what I posted or what I read last week for you that I got a lot of emails about. Now, I know some of you are going to say, I don't have Facebook, which is fine, which is good. And now you didn't listen last week and you still want a copy of it. So go ahead. I'll take more emails again. And now I have it that I can just automatically send you the copy of it. So you can email me at massappeal@avemariaradio.net. So that was a big response I got from you from last week. You'll also find there the pictures from last Sunday. I had mentioned Saturday that I would be speaking in the Kansas City, Missouri area, Gladstone, Missouri. And so I posted your pictures, mothers and daughters and fathers and sons, just like I had done the week before for the Michigan Love Ed presentation that I did there in Saline, Michigan. And the one I did, I don't know if I posted the one from Indiana the week before. Yes, I did. We at least posted the invitation to that. So if you want to see your pictures, if you were at the Kansas City, Missouri, Gladstone, St. Andrew, the Apostle, I posted that also on my Facebook fan page. So we had a great presentation. The one the week before, the one in Michigan was Love Ed, and that was the young adolescent level that we did. So that was 7th and 8th graders with their parents learning about the theology of the body and marriage and conception and fetal development. And the one we did this past week in Gladstone, Missouri at St. Andrews was the puberty information, growing up with health and virtue, and what virtues you need to grow in while your body's changing. And we went through those changes as well, just the changes of puberty, not the marriage level, but just the puberty level. So they had 6th, 7th, and 8th graders there from their EDGE program, and beautiful pictures. I love the pictures of seeing a father and son sitting there chatting about what's going on in your body and what virtues do I need to grow in while these changes are taking place. So my husband was there, and he facilitated the men, and I was there and facilitated the women. So that's what you can find as a follow-up from last week on my Facebook fan page. Just go there, read the God versus Satan, look at your pictures from Kansas City, Missouri, or Saline, Michigan, from the Love Ed or the Growing Up with Health and Virtue. So that was fun. I'd say it was so much fun at the Love Ed and the Growing Up seminars, especially the part where, and I know the girls like this too, where we talk about modesty. The most fun to me is a modesty talk, especially that story of the girl that I saw last summer in the ice cream shop that had the very short shorts on. And then those of you that were there know exactly what we chatted about after that. So make sure everybody who wants to practice modesty as we come up upon summer, get your money's worth when you buy your clothes. So now we go to, one more item of business before we get to our information and inspiration from Mother Angelica today. Next Saturday, after this show, on April 30th, I need to pre-record a show for use in May, because the show time will be during my son's graduation. At Kansas Benedictine on the 14th. So next weekend, I'd like 10 of you volunteers to email me through massappeal@avemariaradio.net, massappeal@avemariaradio.net, and let me know if you'd be one of the 10 volunteers to do your call, just like we do our regular call show. And so let me know if you can help us pre-record a show next week after this show. So go ahead and email me at massappeal@avemariaradio.net. Instead of sitting and waiting in line like you will today and like you do in a regular show, we can set up a time slot. You'll be after this break or this break, and we can set up a time slot of that 2 hours, no waiting, and you're assured of getting on the air. So just email me and say, yes, I'd like to help you. I'm, Jane from Omaha, and I would like to ask a question about my 7-year-old or 27-year-old or 87-year-old mother. So if you want to help doing that, help us do that, that would be great. Let me know if you can commit to being helping us pre-record a show next Saturday after the show that will play on May 14th. So you can email me there, massappeal@avemariaradio.net. But for now, Let's get ready for today's show. Your calls drive the show. You decide what the topics are today. The number to get on today's show with your question or personal problem is 877-573-7825. So now that we've responded to all your emails and requests and showed you where your pictures are connected to 622, what I wanted to inspire you with from Mother Angelica. Mother Angelica is one of my spiritual parents, John Paul II and Mother Angelica, who I would say were influencing me during that same set of years. And I read you a segment last week from her book called Mother Angelica's Answers, Not Promises. A very inspiring book, and I have the 1987 edition with her picture and her older habit before she switched. But her words are still true. So I thought this section of it was page 103 in the large print edition, but about In God We Trust, helps us in what we try to do in this show, Mass Appeal, because we try to trust in God, and we try to see our problems in light of God's love. But Mother Angelica says about this, she says, most of us, if pressed, would say that we trust in God. We say so even on our currency, but trusting in God in those black hours when everything seems to be slipping through your fingers isn't easy, she said. So in those moments, she said, you have probably found that trust in God is as elusive as the contentment you seek. So when you're having bad times and things look dark, we're wondering, how can we trust God in this moment? And we hear this all the time. The fact is that we cannot truly trust in God without the aid of our spiritual companions, she said, faith, hope, and love. If you're suffering right now, your most powerful plea to God should be an increase in these theological virtues. Maybe that's what we'll look for today when you call in for advice. So give us a call at 877-573-7825. This is Colleen Kelly Mast on Mast Appeal, and I'll help you see how we can apply our spiritual companions' faith, hope, and love to your individual problem of today, just as Mother Angelica is advising us. She said, again, in her book, Answers, Not Promises, if you are suffering right now, your most powerful plea to God should be for an increase in these three theological virtues. You need the help of these virtues to truly grasp that God is guiding you through all of this. Notice, she said, you need the humility to know that our minds are limited and that in the mind of God there is a vastness that we cannot begin to fathom. Indeed, she said, between God's wisdom and our wisdom, there is an awesome distance. I can just hear how Mother Angelica would have said that, too. But as we come to trust in God's wisdom, we can find peace, even joy in our suffering. And she did that. Let's continue on to see how Mother Angelica helps us work through this trust in God when we are in the midst of suffering. She said, I'm not going to take away your pain because I can't. However, I can help you to understand your pain by first addressing the reality of it, and then by helping you discern God's action in it. So, following the directions of Mother Angelica, that's what we'll hope to do today. Give me a call with your question or personal problem. This is Colleen Kelly Mast on Mast Appeal. The number to get on the show is 877-573-7825. 877-5-PEP-TALK. And as Mother Angelica suggests, we can help you understand your pain by first addressing the reality of it, and then by helping you discern God's action. So what steps are we going to take with your problem? Is it with an extended family? Is it with yourself and God? Is it with your spouse? Is it with one of your children? Is it with one of your parents? Is it a problem in the parish or the neighborhood? Something that's troubling you, and just need free from advice from perspective. Give me a call. This is Colleen Kelly on Mast Appeal at 877-573-7825. I'll continue what Mother Angelica said about how we look at our problems of the day with faith, hope, and love. In her book, Answers, Not Promises, she says, we must have an important understanding. We must understand fully that we live in an ordered existence in which all forces, good and evil, are ultimately submitted. She said, God eventually brings good out of whatever happens in this life. That's a hard one to take. Like this one last week and the week before when I was preaching the anniversary of my son's death. And I'll read this again. I say, like, yeah, it wasn't good. God permitted it because of genetics, what he inherited. He has a massive heart attack instantly. But how can he bring good out of that? So he can turn anything into good, even something that looks as bad as the crucifixion. So she said, Mother Angelica said, he knows what you're going through at this moment, and he's there to give you what you need to get through it. It's hard to comprehend. You must realize that God loves you more than he loves you that much. You can accept with confidence that there's a purpose, a holy, exalted purpose in all things that he ordains or permits. See, that rationalizes it. My son's late. Or maybe you can take it right now. Why did God permit this? Well, we can't answer that question. But I'll go on with this next paragraph of Mother Angelica. How will work today to face the circumstances of the day? So we can see that simply wishing away our feelings to God's will. The positive thinkers who try to tune us out of our depression and tell us we're okay when we're not lead us very straight, she said. They make us feel that there's some sort of happy button we can push to make everything in life all right. They simply imply that life is just a matter of a good attitude, and that we should be able to merrily jump out of bed every morning with a great big grin on our face, ready to tackle the day. Even if we've lost our job, disappointed our families, or just found out we haven't gotten it. But I don't know about you. But even on a good day, I'm not excited. She said, I'm tired. I feel like 1,000 pounds of dead weight. If I saw someone with a big grin on her face at 5 a.m., I would rush her to the doctor. Let's start by stating clearly basic assumption. It's okay to suffer. It's okay to feel pain. But it's not okay to pretend that your pain and suffering doesn't exist. Because your pain and suffering have a purpose. She said, I'm not saying you should dwell upon suffering or make a career out of it, that you should grow stronger and more holy in it. As Christians, she said, we're called to resemble Jesus. Jesus did not shrug off his suffering. He did not pretend that everything was all right and all that was fine. Nor does he question the Father's motive in allowing him to experience human. Jesus was he knew that God permitted his suffering for a higher purpose. Deny his suffering because he knew it was willed by God. So this is how we can tell you Mass on Mass to people. And I invite you to call with a question or personal problem. How are you struggling? And we know that it's difficult to face today. And I'll offer you some encouragement, some comfort, some understanding, one of the Holy Spirit maybe one of those spiritual works of mercy. And we can look at your problem of the day in light of faith, hope, and love. So give me a call with your question or personal problem, and your call is the show. And we thank Mother Angelica for her inspiration today and for her leadership in founding the EWTN radio network that has brought so many of us to a stronger faith. Give me a call. Your call drives the show. The number to get on today's Mass appeal is 877-573-7825. 8775-PEP-TALK. We'll be back with your call.
The EWTN book of the month of deep faith, a joy and love for the Lord amidst it's an intimate look at life in the monastery with Mother Angelica. It's available with a bonus DVD interview with Sister Mary Agnes through the EWTN Religious Catalog website, EWTN.com, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, or call 1-800-854-6316.
I worked in pro baseball for a long time, and we played. I can do it all. And now I've come back and accepted the job. My will is to change.
If you've been away from the Catholic Church for any reason, visit Catholic Center.
EWTN.com.
California, Louisiana, it's probably warmer there. Our live show on Saturday morning, we were trying to help you with your personal problems. So give me a call at 877-573-7825. It's called early from Texas, Iowa, Indiana. So stay on the line. We'd be happy to talk to you. Although our show is usually live, I mentioned that the pre-recorded show for the WEWN graduation, which will be next Saturday after this show is over. So if you'd like to participate in that show, by just calling in like a regular caller, but you'll have any time. And you can email me at massappeal@audimariaradio.net. Where you're here from and what the topic might be. The time where you can pick a time and then pick a call in that next 2 hours after next week. The new show that will be pre-recorded on the day. So, email me to audimariaradio.net if you'd volunteer to be one of those 10 callers. But for now, we are here live, ready to take your calls on April 23rd, 2016. Welcome to the show. enrollment process out of consideration for your assessment? Okay, all right.
And so I went through the process of it, and I'm still tribunal hasn't been out there. It'll be much longer, and we'll hear from the years. Well, yeah, it's been almost 2 years since the paperwork was completed. And so, yeah, and then there was a period. How the church was going to handle things.
Okay, well, we'll be back with more advanced appeals to chat about. You give me a call with your question or personal problem. 773-7825.
weightlifting is such a popular internet exercise, we feel some of you are the human person needs to live at society catechism tells us it is a requirement of man's nature. There is a certain resemblance between the unity of the three divine persons and the simplicity of human in truth and love. As Jesus made clear, love of God is inseparable from love of neighbor. Humanity's vocation, says the Catechism, is to show forth the image of God and be transformed into the image of the Father's only Son, Jesus. It is through mutual service and dialogue with one another that we develop our systems and thus respond to the end to which we are called, God Himself. And this is in the order of Malta's minute with the Catechism.
And even disinformation about Christianity, Catholicism, and religion in general. It is going to give us direct publication and authentic news about the so we know what the Pope really said and not what we really say. We need to know what things typically mean in order to be able to and in that way, we can have what we need to go out. This issue trial of the national police. Call 01-3230 for your free.
Or personal problem is 877-573-7525. With a break, we call hope and love and suffering with Mother Angelica's Answers Not Promises. It's a book called Mother Angelica's Answers Not Promises. And so I did post that after the April 2nd. I read it up to some of them. Kelly Mass, and I posted how to get it on the EWTN Religious Catalog. So the page of the catalog is posted there, and they put them through Kelly Mass. So the quote that I read is and you can get it, you can go to EWTN.com or another section. EWTN Religious Catalog. Rereading, I read it 20 years ago. So, this is Colleen Kelly Mass on Mass with you. Give me a call with your question or personal problem at 877-573-7325.